Leo Comet was instructed to mop blood off the floor and wipe blood off the wall in a utility room on the 13th floor of an office tower where Gary Growl had been shot 3 times. He died later in the hospital. A pool of blood on the floor. After the police and investigators were done, Leo Comet's job was to clean up the mess. Welcome to Lobodo Channel, the place of sight and sound. Just about anything could be a story. For example, Laura Jenkins, recently divorced, woke at 5 in the morning with a headache. She got up, made a cup of coffee, took a painkiller, waited for the store to open. The store opened at 7:30, and then she went out to get food. Something happened on the way to the store. There you have the basis of a story. An amazing amount of blood came out of the man who was shot 3 times in the chest. Leo asked the boss what happened. Why did this guy get shot? And the boss got angry and said, "Don't ask so many questions. If you know what's good for you, you won't talk about it. Use your imagination." But if you want to know, the guy who was shot was Gary Growl. You know, you met Gary Growl, didn't you? Gary Growl. He was a very angry man.
Mop blood off the floor and wipe blood off the wall in a utility room on the 13th floor of an office tower.
To witness the after effects of violence is shocking. It jolts the mind.
Clean it up. Clean it up. It's your job to clean it up. If you don't clean it up, someone else will have to do it. You are making the world clean. You are making this room clean. You are contributing to making the world clean, even if it's an impossible task. Leo Comet asked the boss, why did this man get shot? And the boss got angry. Then the boss got angry. It was Gary Growl, and he was a very angry man. Oh, you know, you met Gary Growl, didn't you? Gary Growl. He was a very angry man. Leo Comet said, "If something happens, I need to know what's going on. I just get restless and I absolutely have to know." So through persistence, I discovered that Gary Growl was mixed up with the Goo Goo Underground, and he'd run amok with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Frank Bludgeon gave Leo Comet this information and warned him to ask no further, unless he wished to get drawn into danger zones. Lobodo checked the news later and discovered mention of a gangland shooting in this office tower. There were no further details. It was undergoing investigation.
Lobadeau was having lunch on the 15th floor food court of the office tower. An elegant woman approached and sat down next to him at the small square table. She introduced herself, Carolyn Hill, the wife of, or at least who used to be the wife of Gary Growl. She wanted to know if he'd noticed anything unusual while cleaning up the blood. She seemed really agitated and anxious. Leo Comet said, "No, I didn't notice anything unusual other than it's not every day that one walks into a room and sees a pool of blood on the floor and blood splashed on the walls." And she said, "Forgive me for approaching you on this unusual matter. I'm just in a state of nerves and distress from the shock of all of what happened. But I hate to say this, but I'm glad he's dead. He was an abusive husband. I'm glad he's gone, because now I can live and enjoy my life without somebody breathing down my neck and constantly criticizing me and making me feel like a loser." She said Gary Growl was a malignant narcissist whose only skill was to bark at people and growl at them, to bully and intimidate. It's an impossible task to clean the world, but you can clean this room, you can clean this spot, you can clean this little place you can clean this, you can clean it, you can clean it, you can clean it up, you can clean it, you can clean it up with a mop and bucket. That's what Leo Comet was humming as he cleaned it up in order to not feel nausea. He just said, "Clean it up, dip the mop in the bucket of soapy water, swish the mop, squeeze out excess water, make the room clean again."